Welcome to Northwest Profiles, a look at people, places, and events of interest in the inland Northwest.
The audience is arriving at the Met in Spokane for a performance of Sweeney Todd, the delightfully wicked tale of the demon barber of Fleet Street. The performance will be given by an equally delightful company known as Uptown Opera. Uptown is the brainchild of Marjorie Halverson, a voice instructor at Whitworth College. Since 1986, she and her husband Bill Graham have served as artistic and musical directors for Uptown.
I'm probably the company's glorified maid. Do you think that might be maybe where it's at? I felt that there was a lack of enough opportunity for singers in Spokane. I feel that way about ballet. I feel that way about painting. I feel that about instrumentalists. Any opportunity for our own people to grow is going to enrich this community, and I think that's terribly important.
When Marge called me several years back and said, let's put out an opera. I mean, it's kind of like Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland. And sure, and we all agreed that we would do this, and for this first show, we all said, we'll go for broke, that we'll try to see if there's an avenue for this in Spokane, and if we make some money, fine, and if we don't make any money, then we'll cry. We'll cry, but we'll all, divvy up the expenses. And so we went around looking for a restaurant to start in because we thought that might be a nice, intimate setting for doing a one-act opera. And we found Lindemans, and they were very glad to have us. And so then we had to look for a name, and that's always the hard decision. You look for a name, and we thought that as we pursued our opera, we wanted to be what we thought was Uptown. And so as an opera company, primarily what our focus is to do 3 productions a year, and we're trying to vary them, doing a full-scale opera, an operetta and or a musical, and then maybe something a little bit more on the dramatic side, and providing a vehicle for singers in this area to have on-hand stage experience in opera. Not because you can go to other places in town and do just musical theater, but there was not enough opera, we felt, in this town. So that's how Uptown Opera came to be born.
After a series of performances at Lindemans Restaurant, Uptown moved to the Center Theater, then to Civic Theater, and finally to the Met.
The Met is perfect for Uptown. It's a nice-sized stage, and it's the right size for the audience. And acoustically, it's wonderful. So we hope to at least continue to be there for a while. We think of it as our home, and with a name like the Met, you can't go wrong.
All right, so you go. Benjamin Barker!
As Uptown has grown and tackled more complex productions, it has kept its main goal of providing a venue for performers and artisans.
For me, it's a very personal and passionate art form, but opera really is the culmination of all the art forms. And not that we're yet quite at that scale, because we're not San Francisco, where you've got, massive sets and, a ballet company of 25 dancing and huge orchestra. But when opera does utilize all of those art forms, it just creates, I think, more work for people. With Uptown, we do pay all of our singers and the orchestra, and we're not talking, big bucks here, but we're trying to create an avenue of where they can earn some money for what they do, which is sing.
We have singers who earn their living by singing. We have singers who earn their living as accountants, as attorneys, as home builders, and the full gambit.
Ironically, 2 people who are not paid by Uptown Opera are Bill and Marjorie. They both have daytime jobs. Their passion for staying with Uptown is fueled by their belief that Spokane needs its own opera company.
Any city of this size needs an opera company. It is the culmination of the arts. This community is full of wonderful performers, absolutely wonderful performers. And why send them someplace else when they're here? Let's nurture them. Let's have a joy in what they are. And let's celebrate them. We have a few names that are well known, but not nearly as many as the talent that's here.
And in the darkness when I'm blind with what I can't forget.
I think that all opera singers could say that we, you know, push them hard, but I also would like to think that they get rewards out of it because we want them to succeed, you know, to get better. That's how the company gets better, is when we give better productions, better performances, better singing. So as the performers grow, we certainly have to grow.
It's important not always to do the same kind of show. We've done a series of comedies, and they're fun, and you know that they're always crowd pleasers. We can do a Broadway show and know that it will probably be a crowd pleaser, but it's also important that our singers grow, and that our dancers grow, and that our instrumentalists grow. And so we're trying to find that magical combination of drama balanced with good entertainment.
Attend the tale of Sweeney Todd. His skin was pale and his eye was odd.
In 1990, Uptown Opera broadened their horizons with the production of Sweeney Todd.
That's the show that people said, you can't do that show. That's too hard. The subject matter is macabre. All those things that won't work. And it was a wonderful show. It was beautiful to look at. The singers grew phenomenally. It was a good show. And it just gives me hope that there's really nothing out there that if we have the spirit behind it, that we can't tackle.
At last my arm is complete again!
Parales, if your hair is sixer, fix it an exer, don't look grim. Just Parales, miracle elixir, that'll do the trick, sir. What about the money? If you got a kick, sir. What about the money? Where's the Parales? Don't the Parales, don't the Parales.
I'm really excited about what we're doing. It's a struggle right now, but with each show, our skills grow. Our base of support grows, and I sense Spokane is starting to believe in us. And if we can keep our spirit, and we can keep people believing in us, I think Spokane's going to have an opera company.
Sweeney Todd, a demon barber of Fleet Street.
If you have a topic for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, South 3911 Regal, Spokane, Washington, 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS TV.